Good morning, students. Hope all of you are fine. Beta, yesterday we started chapter 11 of your book, and name of that chapter is the National Movement Phase 1. And yesterday we discussed various topics, and those topics were that how there was the rise of nationalism in India, and we discussed its various factors like discontent against British rule, then political, administrative, and economic unification of the country, spread of modern education, role of the press, and the immediate factors. All these topics we have discussed in yesterday's lecture. So today's topic is there is one more reason behind this, that is the Albert Bill controversy. So now beta this Albert Bill controversy, do you know what happened in 1883? Lord Ripon, law member Sir Albert introduced a bill which later came to be known as the Albert Bill, and in this bill it had a provision which gave Indian judges the power to try cases involving Europeans. It means if there was any Indian judge in the judiciary, so Indian judge they can also try the cases of Europeans. But immediately the whole European community started an agitation opposing this bill, and these protests forced the government to withdraw the bill. And to the Indian, it was a proof that they could never expect equality from the British government. So this was the Albert Bill controversy. Sometimes the question can be asked, then what do you know about the Albert Bill controversy? So you can just write like this. Right? Now our next topic is formation of political association. As we know, in 1885 like Congress was formed, and so other than that also various political associations were formed all over the country. So this topic is about that. After the 1850s, Indians began to form political associations to work for their own welfare. One of the first such association was British Indian Association, formed by Sundarnath Banerjee in 1851. And in 1852, the Bombay Association and the Madras Native Association were set up, and even many other associations were also set up in 1870s and the 1880s. Like we can give example of Pune Sarvajanik Sabha, Indian Association, Madras Mahajan Sabha, and the Bombay Presidency Association. Like now you know about all these names like Pune Sarvajanik Sabha and Madras Mahajan Sabha. It means these associations work. It was confined, it was limited to that particular territory only. So all the association formed were limited in both membership and agenda. Most of their members were educated Indians belonging to the upper sections of the society. They sent petition requesting the government to reduce taxes and to end the discriminatory practices, and they just wanted the administrative reforms and to give Indians a greater role in the administration. So all these petitions, those were forwarded by these association to the colonial government. But all their petitions were ignored by the government. The activities of these associations were also restricted to the specific regions. So there was the need for an all India association which was mass based and strong in putting up its demand. So this kind of all India association, need for this had been felt for a long time. Surendranath Banerjee brought people from all over India for the first All India National Conference held in Calcutta in 1883, and he convened another conference which was to be held in Calcutta. It means now earlier there was there was an association, those were restricted to some particular area, but now all India National Conference was also held so that people can work at the national level. Now our next topic is the Indian National Congress. While Surendranath Banerjee was busy in organizing the conference at Calcutta, a retired British official, Alan Octavian Hume, in short we say it A.O. Hume also, called a meeting in Bombay. He wanted to create an association which would be under the supervision of the British and which would let the government know the demands of Indian people. It means this association was formed under the British supervision just to know about the demands of Indian people. He wanted to prevent another nationwide outbreak like took place in 1857. Like in 1857, there was a massive revolt by Indian people. So just to avoid that type of situation, A.O. Hume wanted just to create a mediator between the colonial government and the Indian people. The meeting convened by A.O. Hume was held at Gokuldas Tejpal Sanskrit College from 28 to 30 December 1885. This became the Indian National Congress. It was attended by 72 delegates from all over the country and they included such eminent leaders also. Vomesh Chandra Banerjee, Dadabhai Naroji, Firoz Shah Mehta, Badruddin Tayebji, S. Subramaniam Iyer, and so many other were also there. They were the eminent leaders who participated or who attended this meeting of Indian National Congress. And the Congress had very modest beginning. It held its session in different parts of India once a year. And for the first few years, many Englishmen were also involved in its activities. In the early years, the main aims of the Congress were to bring together leaders from all parts of the country to discuss problems related to India. Because this was the main cause for which Indian National Congress was formed. And to form an action plan to get concession from the British. So first of all, the main two major issues were these. Those were discussed or those were the main aims of the Congress. Now the next topic is the moderate phase. During the first 20 years of Congress, the moderate nationalist. Moderate का meaning होता है means who are not aggressive. Like आप कहते हैं moderate climate, moderate temperature, that is not very low, not very high. So these people, these moderate leaders, those were also, they were very cool-minded, right? And they just wanted to pursue, to convince British people just for the welfare of the Indians. So during the first 20 years of the Congress, the moderate nationalists or moderates dominated the party. And these moderates were Surendranath Banerjee, Din Shah Wacha, Firoz Shah Mehta and Gopal Krishna Gokhale. And they were moderate in their objectives and methods. Why were they called moderates? Because their objectives and their methods were moderate. They believed in constitutional method and in methods of persuasion. Means they just want to convince others by different methods, and they regularly sent petition and resolution to the government. And now the further points you can see beta, these are the demands of the moderates. The first one, freedom of speech and expression, then expansion of welfare programs, promotion of education, recruitment of Indians to high posts in the administration, more powers for the legislative councils, and more Indian members in these councils, holding the civil service examination in India and not just only in England. Change in the economic policies of the government so as to benefit Indian industries, and a cut in the military expenditure so that that money could be used for the welfare of India. And the next one, stopping the drain of India's wealth to Britain, as during that time there was continuous drain of wealth to Britain. So all these were the demands of moderates. Now our next topic is British attitude towards the Congress. Now what was the British attitude? Like in beginning, so many English, actually the Indian National Congress, it was started by also a British person, A.O. Hume. And in its initial time, so many Englishmen, they also just showed their interest in Indian National Congress. But after some time, attitude of British was changed towards the Congress. The British were favorably inclined towards the Congress during the early years of its formation, and some British officials even attended Congress sessions and actively participated in the discussions. Like I was telling you, in early initial years, that British people also, they participated in its meetings. But however, soon the British turned hostile towards it. They began to openly criticize the Congress. They realized that instead of becoming a means to contain the anger of the masses, the Congress was becoming the focus of Indian nationalism. Like, because Indian National Congress, it was formed just to create a mediator, a middle person or middle institution between the Indian people and the colonial government, but Congress became the focus of Indian nationalism. So that is why now British, they started criticizing the Congress. Now our next topic is the radical phase. Like हमने अभी discuss किया moderate phase. There they just used to send the petition and all. And radical होता है बेटा who just wanted the immediate changes. Right? So the after moderate phase, there was the radical phase. The failure of the moderates to achieve political reforms brought forth new trends in the Congress. The new group of leaders were called radical nationalists or simply as radicals. They were led by Lala Lajpat Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak and Bipin Chandra Pal. And do you know these three persons together were called Lal, Bal and Pal. These leaders felt that the present ways of the Congress were ineffective. They were in favor of more radical objectives and methods, and even they called for strong political actions such as strikes, boycotts, and mass demonstration to spread awakening, or we can say awareness, among the people and to achieve political reforms. As you know, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, he gave a very famous slogan that he declared, Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. This is very famous slogan. I think all of you are aware about this. So this way, the radical phase was started in Indian National Congress. So beta, this was the topic for today. So other topic we will discuss tomorrow. Thank you and have a nice day.